tell you an interesting story just for you to noodle on, and then we'll hopefully reconvene this group in another time, and hopefully on a regular basis. It's been a great conversation. Back in, I think, the beginning of October, we had some parents over for our son's volleyball team. And because we kept going to the stands saying, gosh, these people keep coming to the same games we go to, they might be the parents of our John's teammates. It's suburban America. You really don't know everybody. And so we invited them all over, and they all come in the house. There's about 24 of them, all married, and no one knew each other. And it was evident right out of the gate. And we put down, I said, Michelle, get some name tags. These people don't know each other. And they did. And as soon as they did, they were like, wow, hey, great. Yeah, the dudes became Bill, Jim, whatever. They stopped doing the, hey, what's going on, man? And then they had a few pops and loosened up in a little bit. And I had on the background the Virginia Tech Miami football game. And I realized no one was watching it.
Go Hokies.
No
Go
one.
Hokies.
Yeah, thanks. You aspire to mediocrity.
Oh,
Way to go,
Saxman. I don't want to hear it.
One of these years you're going to win an actual athletic national championship, and we're all going to be surprised.
What Sax said.
So
Maybe
anyway,
you'll actually win a football game every once in a while. You won one this past year, but, we're coming back.
Matt, round up to the nearest 27. How many national championships UVA has won?
That's what I thought.
And we're back. Okay, so the game is on, and I realized no one's watching the Hokies and the Hurricanes. And I go, can I ask y'all a question? And we were all gathered around the counter here in the kitchen, and they said, yeah, sure. We're having a good time. I said, where are y'all from? I know you're not from Virginia, because if you were, you'd be watching that game. None of them were from Virginia. 0 out of 24 in our house. And I said, okay, why did you come here and when did you come here? They came for 2 reasons. First of all, jobs. Second was schools.
Yeah.
And I said, when did you come here? Then universally, it was 15 to 20 years ago. And I said, where are you from? And it was Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, all Northeast, Mid-Atlantic states. So to Andrea's point, they don't give a damn about Virginia, and I'm going to vector off into Mike here and the Confederate flag. They don't give a damn about Confederate history and getting it right or studying it or putting it into context. That's not why they're here.
Yep.
They're here for jobs and schools, and that's about it. And until Republicans figure that out, because they're not knocking on doors and talking to actual people, they're lip dropping and going, oh, we knocked on all these doors. Bull cookies. No, you're not. I'm one of those doors. And none of you stop and say, hey, what's on your mind? The Democrats do all the time. And that's not a nuance in politics. That's a reality check. The Republicans, for some strange reason, don't have it in their being to do this. And every time you mention it to a Republican, they go, oh, you're just a rhino. I'm like, I'm not even that. Okay? I mean, balance yourself out. I don't have to vote for you people.
Yeah.
Final thought, Brian, you had your hand up, and we'll work our way around the screen here.
No, I can't. You said it as better than I ever possibly could. I mean, the reality here is that, Virginia as a commonwealth is a place where people come, and some folks stay here, but the reality is, at least in Northern Virginia especially, and I deal with this all the time, and you can even say it about me, people come here and they don't have the built-in Virginia history love that some of us have. I have it. My family's been in Virginia since like the 1620s, but I wasn't born here. I didn't grow up here, but I am here, and my son is from here, and he's grown up here, and he's going to live here his whole life, I hope. And that's I think we need to be willing to talk to people in the language that they understand, and it's not going to be the same everywhere in the Commonwealth. And that's my biggest issue with the way that we try to run the Republican Party in Virginia. We try to run it as a top-down. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to think the same way. And if if the folks in Dinwiddie don't agree with the folks in Fairfax, if the folks in Bristol don't agree with the folks in Arlington, then, well, we're gonna let whoever can get more people to show up at a convention to decide what one size fits all. And it doesn't work. Every area needs to be able to run candidates that fit for that area. Northern Virginia Republicans are going to be different than Southern Virginia Republicans. And if we don't embrace that and accept it, then we're going to be a regional party that's not going to be able to do anything statewide in Virginia ever again.
Amen.
Anybody else? Andrea, last words, last thoughts.
It was to your point. There was just last year. I want to say last year, year before last. They did a study. The most recent study. It was either Brookings or ULI of the migration patterns, and they found two things. They found, like you said, a huge influx from the Northeast moving south, and people from the middle of the country going west. I've been here in Virginia since I was 4. I was born in Hollywood, actually, but so I'm like a California girl. But the migration is going to continue. It's not going to stop. You see it most in the 3 large metropolitan areas, but that's going to start branching out, and it's going to get further west. And the further west that it goes will determine how to Brian's point, how the political candidates are going to have to message themselves. And I will close by saying that I've never met him, but Mr. Cox managed to take a district that was sliced to exclude him, and he knocked on every door. He wore out his shoe leather, and he actually won a district that nobody thought he could win. And I don't care what party you're with, because I'm currently without, I don't have a home, but it shouldn't matter. If you're willing to do the work and you're sane, then you go out, you meet the people, and you'll win.
DJ.
Yeah, I would just say that we are, in part to Brian, to Brian's point and Andrea's point, we are increasingly becoming a northeastern state. We're doing that in our voting patterns. We're doing that in our working patterns and everything else. We are rapidly approaching a point where folks like Matthew, are going to be the ones who, quote, have an accent. I grew up in New Jersey. We are the new normal here. And I say that with the self-awareness and irony that Northeasterners, we all think we're normal, and we're not. But
Yep.
but that's what's coming. If it's not here already, if you haven't seen it yet, trust me, you will.
Okay. But before we leave that and go to Mike real quick, what 3 states do you think were like the most nationally? This is the hardest part for Virginians to wrap, especially Republicans, to wrap their head around. We are more like Colorado, Michigan, and Oregon than we are any southern state. Mike?
Well, playing off of that, and to my final point, I actually think we are becoming demographically and politically like New Jersey. DJ, I lived in New Jersey briefly. I'm originally from Long Island. We have to get in our heads as a party. I'm an educator. We use this term differentiation. Some people are going to be better. Some kids are going to be better at certain things and require certain skills more than other kids. And other kids are going to be, have different strengths through reading, math, social studies. We have to treat our candidates as such. Matt, down in Southwest, that's going to be a radically different candidate than someone that's living by me. I live in Manassas, Arlington, that's going to be a totally different candidate. We have to be okay with that. Also, to that point, New Jersey is the Democrats outnumber Republicans 700,000, by 700,000. Chris Christie was able to win twice to the North. Larry Hogan, you should not be able to win in Maryland as a Republican. He did, because he said, enough of the social crap. I'm going to focus on the economy. I'm going to focus on jobs. I'm going to focus on education. And he focused on everyone. He built a diverse coalition. He won, both he and Chris Christie and John Kasich in Ohio won Black support, Hispanic support. It is possible. We shouldn't let demographics or these Northeast changes affect us or make us scared. Let's lean into them and embrace them.
3 of the most popular governors in the country are Massachusetts, Maryland, and Vermont, all Republicans. Anyone else want to chip in here before we sign off?
I want to say, because I am the person with the accent, and I will say this. I had a college professor who was from Gate City, Virginia. Her name is Dr. Lana Whited, and she told me one time, and I thought it was the best quote ever, my accent's a political statement. And that's what it's always been. And what I'll say to that is, half the state votes like Maryland, and the other half votes like South Carolina. And that is our problem. And I want candidates who will come to Southwest Virginia, where I'm from and where I think I live sometimes when I'm in Roanoke. I want candidates who can go back and forth in between and still be comfortable in both. And that's what I'm looking for. I think we can do it. We've just got to try. And and I will end, Chris Saxman, with, I may not like your football team at UVA, but Tony Bennett is an excellent basketball coach and a great man. So I will give you that, Mr. Saxman.
I couldn't hear that. You broke up. What was that?
I was going to give you credit for Tony Bennett is a great basketball coach and a great man.
I just wanted to hear you say it twice. Thanks.
Oh, now, Saxman.
And this is you're playing. I'm playing from the back tees here, brother. I mean, it's just that easy. Take that hook out of your mouth from that national bastard.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
My mother's family's from West Virginia. We go visit, and I come back, and for a week I talk like my cousins. It takes me a week to assimilate back to my normal.
It's just so easy. All right, here's a number and a statistic for you to write down. In 2001, when Mark Warner won the governorship, neither candidate got 1 million votes. Okay, the total vote that year was just under 1.9 million votes. The growth in registered voters since 2001 is 1.5 million voters in Virginia. That means almost the entire growth in registered voters was almost the amount of voters in 2001. Wow. That's how much the state has changed. Okay.
Big
hey, look, this has been a great conversation. I hope we can do it again. Lynn Mitchell, thanks for lining up the team at Bearing Drift. That's bearingdrift.com. Please sign on, log on, folks, if you're listening, and read all their great commentary and reporting on Virginia politics and national politics. I think you're an underutilized asset in the political game for both sides of the aisle. I think a lot of good stories are going to be written about these upcoming election cycles. Very important in Virginia 2020 and 2021, especially with the redistricting coming up. We might have 3 House cycles in a row, 21, 22, and 23. We've got some changing going on, and having good reporting out there and good commentary and a positive, fresh outlook is essential. Please stay clear of the comments section. God knows I do.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah, we'll do this again.
Yes, this was fun. Thank you, Chris.
This is great.
Chris.
I want to do it to everybody. Raise your hand if you want to do it again.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
We're in.
All right, you're in. Good.
I'm in.
Lynn, did you want to say
Chris?
something? Yes, ma'am.
I did. Thank you. We appreciate it. A lot of us are writers more than talkers, but we do have opinions. So thank you so much for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Well, I think you're welcome. I think Bearing Drift is not hitting its weight right now in political impact. And I don't say that as a negative. I think it's an opportunity for y'all to weigh into the Republican and the political dynamic in Virginia. I think people are looking for editorial comments that are constructive, that can get people to think. And because, look, no one's paying attention to the editorial sections anymore, Richmond Times-Dispatch, Virginia Pilot, or the Washington Post. There's no editorial board out there of any note that changes votes or gets people to do different things. And I think y'all have that place. And I wish you well in that space as you try to figure out where you're going to go and what impact you're going to have on the process here in Virginia, because I think it's a very important one for the Commonwealth going forward. So I thank you for all that you do, because I know most of you do it on a volunteer basis, which makes it even more extraordinary. So
It's not most, it's everybody.
Okay, try to
We're
change.
volunteers. Yes.
We're all volunteers.
All right.
And I
Good
want
luck.
to brag on these guys real fast. They all are great. Come read them.
Well, all right.
And watch them on Grad New Podcast.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get that stuff out there and get people consuming all that is Bearing Drift. Best of luck.
Will do.
We'll get this we'll get this video over to Lynn in YouTube. Y'all share it around and put it up on Bearing Drift, and hopefully we can develop a good audience for y'all going forward. All right?
There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mary,
Thank you.
Sax.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Go Who's.